Hello everyone. Um, so this is not going to be a very long video here, but I just wanted to report some really good news here. So if you couldn't tell here, I'm on 1.16.1 speedrunning version, and unfortunately I wasn't recording, this, well, not this long ago. I mean, it's like 12:38 a.m. right now, but I say so. I guess then I say yesterday. I suppose would be the correct way of putting it. But I have some pretty fucking amazing news here, and I beat my previous world. Not my previous world record. I don't have any world records. I beat my previous speedrunning time on a random seed here. So I'm actually going to go ahead and show you all. So it's not. So I think it's what, this one. Yeah. So this here's the seed. I got. Now you're gonna have to trust me on this one because unfortunately I wasn't recording. I thought I was just gonna do a little extra speedrunning practice. I just had a call with a friend, really not all that long ago. It's probably about an hour ago at this point. And, we're just talking about a ton of Minecraft speedrunning stuff. And then after that, I was like, hey, I think I want to go ahead and do a little more speedrunning practice or something like that. Just for a little bit, before I go to bed. We'll just see how it goes. And this is literally the second seed. The second seed that I played after this. That I played after that call. The second seed. And I got this time here. You see 40 minutes and 32 seconds. And here's the seed. Wow. Just unbelievable. And this seed isn't even like as lucky per se as the previous world, as my previous record was. This was a good seed. But I carried it, not the seed as much. It did definitely certainly help, but this was more of a good seed rather than a lucky one. And I managed to beat my previous time. Now, I know it's not by a lot. It's just, 1 minute and about 23 seconds. Not a ton. I know that. But just, there's so many different things to talk about here. So like, for starters, let's see here. Let me go down the mental lane of what happened in this run here. So, I entered the Nether at about like 6 minutes or so. I found like a lava pool that was like super close by to the village that I spawned in, and I did all the trade stuff there really well. I actually tried the strat where you kill a golem with a wood sword, and then you use that to make an iron pick to then mine the cobble for your tools, instead of just mining the wood, then the cobble, and then getting the iron. So I did that. I did those things. I went to the Nether. There was a bridge bastion right there, and I actually routed it properly for a run. I've routed them in practice several times now over the last few months, but I actually did it just like that. Just like, pop, done. I did it. I did that. I routed it super quickly. I got like all the pearls, and unfortunately I didn't get 20 obby. I got 17. I didn't have enough for a second portal, and if I had, that probably would have saved me some good amount of time. But I'll get back to that. So then I had a bunch of I had a couple fire res pots. I had, I had a bunch of pearls. I had like a little over 2 stacks, I think it was. And then what did I do? Well, I didn't see any fortresses nearby, but I pearled around the terrain, and then I found one. and I found it like out of the corner of my vision, and I was like, oh, I see a fortress right there. And so after pearling around a little bit of the nether for like a minute or two, I found one, and then I pearled up onto it instead of just building onto it. So that's a nice little thing there, trying to use the pearls a little bit more aggressively, And then, I found the spawner like really quickly. Now, there was a ton of blazes, and so I tried to go find a chest with some iron so I could make a shield. But funnily enough, I found no iron, but I found, just some gold and whatnot, I think it was, and so anyways, then I go there and I try to, honestly, person, I'm remembering a little bit of the last seat before this, but in many ways they were actually kind of similar. But so anyways, this time here, sorry, I didn't find any chests this time. I didn't do that. That was as I did in the last one. But I did find the spawner very quickly. But unfortunately, it took me 28 blazes. I will show you here. 28 blazes to get enough rods. Like, that was insane. But what did I do while I was waiting? I built a little platform around the spawner. I cleared out a bunch of the area. I built myself a portal so I could just be ready to get going as soon as I could. And then after I got all my rods, I was like, okay, I'm out of here. And what did I do? Well, unfortunately, I didn't triangulate or whatever. I still need to make sure I, properly learn that and, use that stuff and make sure I actually get my measurements right and all that. But, right. So, unfortunately, that meant, that I had to, unfortunately, it meant that I had to just run to the stronghold. But what did I do? I used these bad boys, and I had so many inner pearls that I pretty much just pearled most of like the 1,000 block, however long it was, distance to find, to find the stronghold. And then I got in pretty quick, and then it took me a few minutes to find where the portal room was. And then what I do, I set a bed, the one bed I had from the village, and then I went and crafted my beds. I didn't make any chests, stupid chest to put all of my shit in. I just was like, okay, I got my stuff. I'm going into the end, and what I do, I built myself a little bridge over here just in case if I died, because as you saw, I made a little bridge over there. And then I came over here, I pulled over here, and then I made this little tower here. I went up here, placed the blocks, and then I was like, okay, I'm gonna go over here. And then I went up here, dragon spat some fire at me, so I towered up. And then when the dragon was about to perch, pearled down here, and one cycled it. And then just stood in the fountain, and there we go. So like, I mean, that's just like, a lot of it's just, very, very standard, speedrunning stuff and all that. But, this was honestly like a really cool thing for me. Because, I actually executed several very, very important speedrunning strats successfully. I actually tried doing them here in this run, and after some good amount of practice, I actually managed to pull it off in a run, and only if I had simply just been recording this. Only if I had just simply been recording this run, then I could have submitted this run on the Minecraft Speedrunning website and got myself my first official run. Just such a fucking shame that I hadn't done that. That I hadn't thought to record this. And I hate just making you guys think that, like, this because, like, again, like, you didn't see me do it. You're just gonna have to take my word for it. And unfortunately, I can't submit this because, obviously there's nothing to really submit. There's no video. But, I I did those strategies well, and on a good seed, not on the lucky seed that I had this last world. You know, this world was a good seed, nothing crazy, but it was a good running seed. You know, and the 4155, the previous record I had, which I got on October 22nd of this last year, so shy of just about 3 months ago, in fact, when I was still in Sydney, Australia. You know, and I had both the Fortress and the Bastion right next to each other, and on there, I didn't even know. You know, I knew a little bit about Bastion routing, but I didn't really know how to do it quite properly. You know, and there was a bunch of kind of just like really noticeable mistakes that I made in that, and I didn't even have like a successful like one cycle in that. It was just kind of awkward, and then like a dragon nearly killed me like 3 times or something, you know, and all those things, and like, but it was still really lucky seed, you know, but that this time I can see that, hey, you know, I've made another, I've improved. Again, I've improved. This level of practice I've done, you know, and even though I'm not doing it every single day, it's amazing. So, thank you.